Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is the first page in project 3 for Close to My Heart's In Full Bloom workshop. So I think out of all of the double pages, all of the 6 layouts, this one and the next one are the ones I changed the most. I think the next one I changed more than this one, but this one has a lot of fun like frame details, but the frames are very like haphazardly scattered, which is a really cool look, but it's not very much my style. So I do end up tweaking this a little bit to make it look more like something I would do. So I am starting out with both of my photos. They used 3 photos in theirs. They used 2 4x4s, and it looks like a 3x3. I'm documenting Thanksgiving for this page and the next page, and I probably will try to use scraps from this kit to create a 3rd page for all of the Thanksgiving festivities. But this is page 1, and I have 2 4x6s, so that already kind of tweaks my proportions a little bit, and I have 1 less photo than they did, so that's kind of why things end up getting a little bit like changed. But I am using the papers that they used. So I have this ledger print and then this nice aqua floral. So I am just creating the vertical column like they did on theirs. Again, there's going to be so much of this ledger paper covered with this aqua piece that I do end up gutting that section, which ends up working out because I end up needing that for another page at the end of the workbook pages. But now I'm just going to piece together all of these pieces on some of my like black cardstock from my stash. But I'm getting my 12 together down. I've already matted both of my photos in the black cardstock. And from here, I pretty much just get to embellish. So you can see to the left there, everything that I have to work with. There are 2 gray branding strips that come on these papers, but that they did not use in their design, and I didn't want them left over at the end of the month. So I do end up adding 1 gray branding strip to this page and the next page, just to get that used up. It's in the color theme, like the colors of the page, and I like the extra like design details, so I do end up adding that bit once we get going. But I'm trying to remember everything we got done. I start with the little light bulb cluster. I love the die cuts and everything that come on each page, so I definitely am going to incorporate and make the clusters the same way they did. It's really the frames that I end up moving around. You can see how many frames they give me just for this one page, and I really want to have this layout have the same kind of feel as theirs with all of the layered frames, but I just want to do it in a different way. So I am getting both of these photos glued down in a similar spot as theirs, and then I'll start kind of figuring out what I want to do. I noticed this one smaller ledger piece on the side I had upside down, so I am pulling that off and re-putting it down in the correct position. That was going to bother me. But yeah, so here basically is my background for my framework. There's that extra branding strip I'm deciding to go ahead and add. And then I'll start to play with all of the ephemera bits. So this is another one where they kind of give you the black cardstock design with a backing from the punch out sheet. So that light bulb I'll get to layer up, which ends up looking really nice. And then I get to just start layering bits. This is one of the clusters I'm putting together now. I love the way that looks. A little light bulb, so cute. So I'm trying to have that one up there, and then I'll put my other cluster down to the left here. In their original, it was on the 3rd photo, which I am not including. So I'll find a different spot for that floral cluster to sit. But this is where all of these frames kind of arc out to the left here, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want to use the frames in a way that makes me happier. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down the photos. I know they're going to go there. I do want to leave a little bit more room at the top than they did, so I'm scooching the photos down a little bit because I'm thinking my title I will move to be on top of the photos versus in the upper left-hand corner. And now I'm layering up my frames. So I moved the frames around a lot. I really didn't do have the frame placement like they did. But I have this green one here that's going to be an anchor point for this layer, and then I'll just layer a couple more frames up the left side of this page. But I decided to do that instead of them all kind of scattered around the left. I kind of wanted them all anchoring back into the 2 photos as your focal point. So that's what I decided to do. I hope that made sense. But yeah, I kind of designed myself into a corner at first when I was trying to work around how to do what I wanted to do with what they did. But it ends up working out really good. I really love the end result. It's just hard to explain kind of what my brain did to take it from what it was supposed to be to this. But I'm really just taking the frames. I'm trying to keep the colors balanced. So that was the one of the things. I have this very green frame up here in the upper left hand corner, so I want to make sure on the opposite side of the page I have another green thing like that carries that same color weight. So that's something I'm trying to think of. There is a sticker on the sticker sheet that says just relax in that same colored green, and you can see Avery in this bottom picture is just passed out. So I really think next to that photo on the opposite side of the page of that green frame, I'll have that sticker, and that way that's already balanced. So that's something I'm trying to keep in mind. These more bold elements, I want to make sure have a counterpart so they look balanced across the page. So that's kind of one thing. I kind of did not want to mess with the frames just yet. I wasn't sure quite what I was going to do, but they have the Happy Time sticker from the sticker sheet. That was the title on this page. So I am popping all of those up on some foam. And like I said, I'm just going to move that to the right of that floral cluster instead of the left. I didn't leave myself too much room with adding that frame and kind of having longer or wider photos. So I'm moving the title and I think it looks a lot better where I end up putting it with how I ended up designing this one. And then I think I'll go into my frames. I'm just stuck for right now trying to figure out how I'm going to use them all, but it helps knowing that I'm trying to squeeze in some extra layouts at the end of the month, because any frames that I don't use, I know I'll have as layering bits on my extra pages. So I'm not too worried about getting them used up. I just really want to keep the integrity of their design and just make it more me. So I'm getting my title stuck up here, which I do end up actually adding a title with my black foam thickers that just says Thanksgiving. But I wanted to go ahead and keep these stickers too. I like that text element that's up there. So I'm getting that there. The Rise and Shine black sticker that I did not use on a previous page, I will now use on this page because I feel like the context makes sense with Avery passing out. This was Thanksgiving dinner, and we kind of just passed Avery around while everybody else ate, and he ended up just like, he's fully laid out in my mom's lap in that bottom photo. So I thought it was a funny thing to document. But yeah, I got the title down. I'm trying to remember what I did next. If I go in with the frames or if I start messing with the secondary floral cluster. I like what's here so far. It's just a game of adding what I want to add without taking away from anything. And at first I thought the Rise and Shine sticker would be on the bottom right where he's passed out. But once I kind of decided I needed a green element, that's why I ended up switching the stickers. I am inking this page in that green ink, which I also think helps balance the green. I've been loving pulling in that ink pad this month. I don't use a lot of colored ink, but when I use Close to My Heart, it really like inspires me to use colored ink, so it's nice pulling that stuff out of my stash. So there's that. It's all inked up. What do I do? Do I do the secondary cluster next or the frames? I'm trying to decide. The secondary floral cluster. I should have known because that was an easier thing for me to put together right now. I am popping the blue flower up on some foam, so there's a little bit of dimension. And I'm just thinking I want that to be on the opposite side of the page as the floral cluster, but I kind of want to pull in the frames on the right side of the page since there's all these frames on the left side. They didn't have any frames on the right. And since I'm creating a cluster over there with one of the word stickers, I kind of am thinking I want a frame over there. So I was kind of trying to decide if I want my floral cluster over there or another frame. And so I decided to go with the frame on the right and keep my floral cluster on the left. But you can see where I kind of go back and forth on that. But I kind of felt like the floral cluster would cover up part of Avery, and then I'd kind of lose my chance to pull in my green sticker. So this is where I decide to pull a frame in over there, and then I go back and forth until I realize that there's a green sticker that balances that frame perfectly. So I'll do that instead. But it just takes a minute for me to figure this out. I'm kind of like, I think this page probably took the longest out of all of them this month. I work really fast with these products because they give you guidelines, but on these pages that I'm changing, like this, it takes me a minute to kind of work out what I want to do. But that's that green sticker, and like I said, I think that helps balance that green frame really nicely. So I'll pop that up on some foam, and I'll layer that over the blue frame that's going to be tucked out from that corner. And I think that that helps a lot. Pulling the frames to that side, having the pop of green. I'll end up pulling some of the black cardstock pieces to the right as well, just so those are also balanced. Because on their layout, there's like no embellishment on this right side. There's like one yellow sticker they had down by the bottom photo, but I really wanted to pull in some of the actual design elements over there. So I'm just trying to figure out spatially how it'll work. But I'm getting adhesive on all these little bits so I can start sticking things down. I decided to move that butterfly over and one of the black hearts, so I really like how that helps balance some of these bolder black pieces. I was going to use this more tealy sticker up here by the frame, but I decided the bolder black would look nice and the sentiment would go better on this page than that other one. So I'm doing the Rise and Shine up there. And then the Just Relax will be down in the bottom right hand corner. So I really like how those two areas are balanced. And now I need to figure out what I'm doing with this final floral cluster and what I'm going to do with all of these framey bits, because I definitely want to have that same layered frame look. So it just takes me a minute to figure that out. I'm also chatting with the ladies on Zoom during this page, so I feel like I'm more scatterbrained while I'm trying to figure all of this out than usual. I was very productive working with them, but on this page where I needed to like figure things out, I was not focusing enough. But I decided to just lay these frames out over here and figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. And with the soft yellow and that light bulb, I kind of wanted one of the lighter yellow frames. So I tried this one here, and then I didn't want to use the same blue frame that's on the right side because I didn't want it to look like it was this really long, weird frame running behind the whole photo. So I wanted it to look like a different frame altogether. So I went with that lighter blue frame. And I'm just going to gut the pieces of the frame that are going to be hidden behind the photo. So again, I'll have those to save for another page. But I like this look. This gives me that same layered frame design without it having that extra photo and those extra details I just didn't need on mine versus what they did with theirs. So now that this is here, I feel better about putting this floral cluster at the bottom. So I kind of created my visual triangle between this light bulb cluster, this floral cluster, and the butterfly cluster. And now I'm just trying to add the last couple heart details, which I think helps balance the rest of the black across the page. And that's pretty much it. I think I do add one more sticker, that's a green one down by the title. I need to add my title still. I thought about using the teal one again, but I just feel like the green was what was lacking on this page. And so I wanted one more green element down here in the third cluster. So I'm doing the Sing Your Own Song sticker from the sticker sheet. So I think that kind of helps balance everything out. And then once I add my bolder black title across the bottom, I really feel like that helps balance the black elements from that top cluster. And I'm happy after that. There are lots of colored little heart stickers on the sticker sheet that they incorporated on theirs. So I'm going through and kind of adding those as my finishing touches on this one instead of using enamel dots or the alpha dots, foam dots. So I decided to go through and do that really quick. And now I'm trying to see if there's anything else on the sticker sheet I want to add. If I'm happy with this, I move a couple of the hearts around, but other than that, I just need my title. And then I belatedly realized that I didn't do the mixed media on this page that they had recommended, which I didn't think it needed it. But at the same time, there were a couple areas that were more plain that I think it would be a fun addition. So at the very end, I will go in and add that as well. But do I do that first before my title? I'd be surprised if I did mixed media for my title, but I definitely am. So I'm just using the stencil that came in this collection, and I'm just adding this to 3 areas of the page to create another visual triangle, but to add some extra color and texture. So I'm not being too neat about it. I kind of like how this stencil is more of a mixed media, messy kind of looking one, so I'm just rolling with it. And so I think that's a nice extra touch, but it's definitely too plain at the bottom of the page, and that's when I think I decided to go in. It needed another black thing, so I was like, oh, I'll just add my title for Thanksgiving. This is the first of the 3 Thanksgiving pages, so I think it's nice on this first page to say Thanksgiving. That way I know for the rest of the pages what it's about. Yeah, I'm just going into that tried and true alpha this month. I've really been using that one a lot. And what's the name of that one? I've been using it too much to not tell you which one it is. It is the Thicker's Delight foam letter stickers. I'm pretty sure I got that at Michael's, but I'm not sure. It may have been one my mom gave me. Actually, my mom probably did give that one to me. But yeah, it's just the perfect touch to all of these. I think I'm almost done. The G's do run off of the page. Sorry, it's off the screen a little bit, but the G's run off of the page. I thought it would look too weird having the G's popped up a little higher because it just wouldn't look natural. So I end up just cutting the bottom of the G's that hang off of the page so the G's can be in line with the rest of the letters. So you'll see that in a minute, but I really don't notice it as distracting, especially once it's in the album. But I'm just going to trim the bottom of those. And I think that's it. So this was a longer one for me for a page that's not super, super detailed or complicated, but figuring out how I was going to do that, it took me a while. But here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.